everyone doing today? So today I am going to be showing you how I make my vintage flowers. I just had 3. Where the other one was gone, I don't know. It was on my dish. I'm sure I just had 3. Anyway, I'm going to be showing you how I make these so fluffy. The reason why I'm doing this video is for the lovely Sam. I signed up for her collab due to Rian's fault why I signed up, because she convinced me. No, I've never done a collab before, so I hope I'm doing this right and justice, Sam, because I've never done it before. I don't even know whether I'm doing it correctly. But I have been asked to show you how I do my flowers, so I thought the collab is all about making something either vintage or shabby chic. It can be anything you wanted as long as it's in those themes. So before I let you all know how I do them, in the description bar below is everybody that's joining in the collab. So please pop on over to those channels. They're an amazing bunch of ladies. I'm working through you, my lovelies. And lovely crafters, and the ones that I'm already subscribed to I will always watch all the time, but I'm working through the list myself. So yeah, pop on over to those channels, and they're signed up for the collab, so I can't wait to see what everybody comes up with. So tonight, because I'm filming this on Saturday night, I'm making these vintage flowers, and everybody keeps asking me how I get the puff in the flowers. Now you can make them big or small. I did have 3 to show you, but for whatever reason, oh, I got it. George is on the floor. This is the 3rd one. Now these are more white, so I wouldn't class them as vintage, but this one is vintage. So we are going to be making some vintage flowers today. So you will need some fabric. Now I've got some pure vintage fabric that came off a wedding dress. I've only got little snippets left, enough to make a flower but not enough to do a project. So what I've done, I've brought that fabric out with me. I have some pure silk fabric, and I've also got some chiffon as well that makes beautiful petals, and it's in like a dusty rose kind of pink, so I thought it would work well with either petals. You'll also need a candle, and be careful when you're lighting it. I'll also need a tweezers because we need to do our very small tiny petals as well. So where to begin? So I'll move this aside a second. As you can see, I've cut ish circles, so you will need large circles. Now I've just cut a bunch, but you'll need about 4 large circles. Your medium ones obviously need to be a lot smaller than these. And you'll need, if you're going to do 5 petals on the back, this is just 4, you'll only need 4 medium. If you do 4 big ones, you'll only need 3 medium. So it all depends on how much of a puff you want. You could skip this altogether and then do it smaller, but I'll talk you through that when we get to it. So I'm going to be needing 4 of these, I think, and then because I've done 4, I'll only need 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Now on this flower I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and the medium ones are the dead ones inside. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's the middle ones. Where's my medium? 1. Trying to show you now. 1, 2, 3. 3. Yeah, I've done 3. So 4 medium, 4 big, 3 medium. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then you'll need some tiny petals. Now when I cut these, everybody goes, oh, they're so small, but they're supposed to be. So I'm going to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 6 there. Don't worry if you've got petals left over. It's always fun anyway if you've got petals left over. Now stack them on top of each other. They don't have to be in any particular order or anything like that, but we're going to cut these right down. So let me get my embroidered scissors. I'll pull that one out. and we are going to cut these really down. So I'm going to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. Get me my circle. And as you can see, they're tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. So how you get the petals, let me just move these, is by, I'm going to show you on this fabric. You get your fabric, you fold it in half. This is how you do the little ones. Fold it in half again, and then fold it in half again. These are two the little ones. Fold it in half again till you get that shape. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it just in half again, and that will give you your little petal. Now let me show you. I'm going to cut this in half because it might be a bit too bulky. So I'm just going to work with 2 pieces of fabric, besides which I haven't got much of this left. So half, half again, half again, and half again. And you probably think, like, that's really small. It's supposed to be. This is how I do my flowers. I know everybody does them different, but this is how I do mine. Doesn't help that my scissors is blunt. Come on. Yep. There. I'm going to move that out of my way because I don't need them. And I'm going to let these go. Now these are going to be my little ones. Doesn't matter if they're not full circle. Honestly, doesn't matter. So I'm going to count 6, 1, 2. And as you can see, I have loads and loads of petals to do more flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we're going to do 1 in the vintage fabric and then 1 in this fabric. So I'm going to just fold. Just going to cut them so I can reuse them after. Then just going to run them off. And they will shrink when they come to the handle anyway, so I'm not bothered about them being straight. Yeah, that'll do. So those are my extras if I need them. So that's how you do the medium, middle ones. How to do the medium is you take your fabric, and we'll do the large ones in here because I want to do the medium in the chiffon. So let me do the medium first because then I know where I am. So this chiffon isn't obviously straight, so I'm going to make it a bit straighter than this. Yeah, that should do. That will give me 4 pieces. So I'm going to pretend there's a circle there. You can draw a circle, you don't have to eyeball it, and it doesn't have to be a complete circle either. There we are. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many I have with the medium. Move that on my way, and now I'm going to make the large petals. So what I've done is folded my fabric, and I'm using 2 pieces. It's a lot easier and it does a lot quicker when you come to do the petals. Fold it in half and fold it in half again till you get that shape, a rectangle shape. And all you're going to do is just round the corners off to begin with. And come down the fold line and just leave, I don't know, a little bit, 1/4 of an inch maybe, just enough so you can play about with it. Now if your big petals are the same size, which mine are, take your medium petals, fold them in half. Now we're going to shorten these down because obviously they're a bit too big to be medium. And there's my petals. So I've got large, medium and small, large, medium and small. So those are my petals, and that's what we're going to work with. So I'm now going to light this candle. So like I say, please be careful when it comes to lighting the candles, because they are a bit dangerous. Now, some people like the black, some people don't. I tend to not like the black, but it does give me, it's not going to puff up like this flower because it's not satin enough for me. So what I've done is I've just singed the edges, and I might switch and swap. So what I mean by that is this. Now you can see how quick this petal is curling because it's satin. Now silk does, sorry, this is silk or satin. Satin will do it lining from a wedding dress, that'd be perfect. I'm not happy with that at all. So I'm just singeing my medium. If you've got to use a tweezers, use a tweezers. I don't want anyone burning their fingers. See how that's going together really nice? This one's not because of the shape of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors wherever they are, and I'm just going to make it smaller so I can put it between the petals and not have to think about it bouncing up. Because I've got those petals there, it'll bounce it up for me. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's singe these. I'm going to keep that to one side a second. Like I say, lining will do it. Anything, any type of fabric that I would recommend just sitting and playing, see what fabric you can sort of singe and see what works best for you. I mean, you might not like this idea of singeing. You might like the idea of it going black. Some people do. Some people singe it until it's black on the edges. Now, I prefer not to, especially if I'm making vintage flowers, because I think they're not going to be vintage if I'm doing black. But like I say, it's personal preference, and it's totally up to what you think. But this is the flower we're going to make. That's the one we're going to achieve to attempt, but we're going to do it in vintage fabrics. So I have 4. See how quickly that burned? 4 of the big ones. Our flower is going to be quite puffy because I'm going to put the vintage fabric in between the layers. Oh. Might get 2 flowers out here now. I was hoping to get 2, but we'll see how we get. You burnt my fingers then, looking at the time. Just looking at the time to see how many minutes I was on. Right. Where's my... I'm fed up of burning myself. I am going to use a tweezers definitely to do those small petals because they wrap up really tiny. Now I'm going to singe all these because, like I say, I think we've got enough to do 2 petals, because it doesn't take a lot for them to wrap around. And you can, if you singe it in the middle, your petal will fall like that. I think I've got 2 here. Yeah, you have. And I find burning flowers so relaxing. It's mindfulness crafting. I think that's what Miss Rhian called it, who was Mrs. G. We were doing flowers one day and she said flowers is mindless crafting. I think that's what she said. Right, that one's turned in, so I'm going to just pull it out, but I'm going to be careful because it's still hot on the sides. Right, let's cut these down a little bit. So I'm going to fold them, when you got two here, fold it in half, fold my template in half, because these are going to go in between my layers, because I've got enough of the larger petals from the side to put between. There they are. And then we've got the tiny little ones. And they do curl up really tiny. You'll see them curling up. See, that's how small you want them. And trust me, they do make a difference to when you are making flowers, because you want to be able to achieve the fullness in your flower. And this is, I'm going to show you something that when I was sitting here one day and playing with the idea of flowers, I came up with how to make them puffy, but not how to make them flat, because every time I was making a flower, it was coming flat. And I've come up with an idea. I don't know whether it will work, but I do know whether it works because I've done it on that one. Where am I on about? So I'm going to show you that as well. So that's 4, 5 and 6. Right, as you can see, that's tiny, but you want them that small. Now these flowers, because they're the type of fabric, they're the vintage fabric, they're not going to burn. I've just tried it and instead they singe on the edge, so I don't want that effect. I've also got my needle and thread ready, because you'll need that to begin your threading process. So I doubled my cotton up. So we're going to start on the biggest petal. Now what I'm going to do is, what you do is 4 petals. So I'm going to alternate mine, only because I want to make it a little bit different and put vintage between it. So I'm going to put 1 petal, 1 vintage flower. This will act as my 3rd petal, and this will act as my 4th. Have I got enough to do 5? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got enough to do 5. Might just have enough to do 1 flower. So I'm gonna. So there's my layer. So I've just layered them on top. There's no like wrongs or rights, and I'm gonna turn them the wrong way. And this is what causes the puffiness. So I'm gonna make my knot first at the bottom of the flower. So I'm not worrying about bringing them out. Sorry for motor shock, guys. I'm not worrying about sort of where the petals fall or anything like that, because you'll see them fall the minute we start doing the medium flowers. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting 3 stitches in, just 3 in the center, like so. There's my 3. So now we're going to work on the medium ones. So take your medium ones. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to alternate with these ones. So I used 5. So 4 medium I need. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Pop them the inside out so they become the wrong way. And you think, oh, I'm doing it wrong. You don't. Trust me. Put them on top. As you can see, it's already beginning to form a vintage flower. And I think I might finish this one off with a vintage bead if I can find one. Not a vintage bead, a vintage button. That's what I was after. So 3 stitches again, dead in the center. I'm using a dull needle. I got asked. Oh gosh. Got asked the other day. My stitch has got formed. See, I'm gone through the center. That's okay. I'll just unpick it all the way through, and then I'm going to gather it by here, so not that far centre here, and I'll put it back through those petals that I missed. Come on, there we are. Back through the petals, which would be there. Right, so you have your flower and it'll start to look a bit like that. So now you're going to do the medium ones, the little ones, tiny, tiny little ones. So the little ones, again, build up. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I haven't done any little ones. 4, 5, 6. Now with these, should I do 6? Yeah. With these, you can't pop them the other way because they're that tiny. So what you're going to do is you're going to take them onto your flower, because you don't want to lose your stitch. You're going to put them right through the center, so where you just finished off, you really should have finished off at the back, but never mind, Craig wants to do different. And I'm just going to pull it and then arrange my flower where I want my petals to be. And I'm going to do it in the center again, pull it. It's quite off, but flowers are not supposed to be perfect, that's why we have different ones. And I'm going to do it in the center again. So that is my flower. As you can see, it's layered, and it's not, you know, flat or anything like that. Now I'm going to find a little button, which I do have because I've been playing about with my buttons earlier today. There is my vintage button. That one came off a wedding dress. Should I try that one? That's not vintage. If it's not vintage, don't put it on. No, I'm going to stick to this bead, but I need to change my needle, which is why I've got these needles here, because the thread will, the big needle, big doll needle, won't go through the bead. Let me just. Did you know you can buy like gadgets to put your thread through? I didn't know that. My mum showed me hers the other day. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Carry on showing me. You don't really need it. No, you can buy little. There we are, perfect. You can buy little gadgets. Right, I'm going to take it through the centre, which is about there, I should imagine. Or is it? Ow! It's there. I'm going to bring that up, and I'm going to put this bead, button, should I say, on it that's come from a vintage wedding dress, and I'm going to poke it at the back and bring it all the way up, and do that again so I don't miss it. That's my dog you can hear in the background, by the way. And there's my little flower. You can make them as puffy as you want to make them. They don't have to be this size. You can build on your layers. So just remember that the medium ones, your medium petals will always be, if you do like 5 big petals, your medium ones will be 4. If you do 6 medium petals, if you do 6 large petals, your medium petals will be 5, and so forth. So just remember that it's always a number down for the medium ones, and the little ones always remain at 6. I found that if I've gone any bigger or any smaller, they don't look right. 6 is just quite a nice number to have. So I'm going to cut that now, and that's one done. And then with the ones I have left, which are these, we're going to make a flower. So I'm just going to build my medium flowers up. I do apologize, my dog is going to, I do apologize. So I'm going to build my medium ones up. I'm not going to stick to the large ones, just the medium. So there's 3 there. Actually, I might put that one on there. 3, 4, small. Let's do one of these. No, it's going to be popped inside out on it. Right, pop it inside out. Have a look, see if you like it first of all. I'm going to pop that one there. I just want that one in the centre. And I'm going to sew that dead in the middle. Well, I got my thread. And then I'm going to cut some little flowers. So I'll tell you how many medium ones I got now. This is just a tiny flower. This won't be as puffy as the one I've just made there, or this one, because it's going to be really tiny. And the circles I've cut out of that vintage fabric are not going to burn. So I think my best guess. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it up some chiffon. So let's do tiny ones. Fold it in half, and you want to go as small as you can. Don't worry about it being like super small, because it's going to get shrinked up anyway. And I'm going to just round this edge off. And then I'm going to just burnish these. So this will be one. They're tiny. They're going to be two. 3. 4. That one's hooked on together. 5. And this would be the last one. Right, 6. Oh, 6. Told you they were hot. So build them up on one on top of each other. Don't worry about them being, pulling them out, because honestly, don't panic about it. So there's 6 there, and I'm just going to slot them in the center. So I'm going to take my needle, because my needle is facing the wrong way, it should be at the back, like I say, and put them through the center. Make sure my threads there. I'm going to pop the petals down, and I'm going to do a couple of stitches, and this will be my tiny little vintage flower. So as you can see, it's super, super, super tiny. So I'm going to try and stick, let me see what we got. Oh, what about, is that too big? I wonder. Oh, that's perfect. Right, I'm going to go back through the center. Like I say, you can do as many petals as you want. These are how I do my vintage flowers. And I always make a bunch of them at a time, so I've got some to put on my projects. Like I said, this is a button. This has come off a vintage wedding dress. And you can add appliques to them. You can do whatever you want to them, because they are flowers when you make them. Right, I'm just going to knot this now at the back. I'm going to bring my petal at the back. There we go. And I put a piece of felt on the back, or if I'm doing my projects, I have no need to put felt on. and that's how I do my mini one. So I really do hope you've enjoyed learning how to do flowers with me. Thank you, Sam, for giving me this opportunity to share my flower making and giving me the opportunity to be in your collab. I've never done a collab before, so I really do hope that I'm doing it justice and that I'm doing it correctly. Let me know what you think, guys, and let me know what you think of these vintage little flowers of mine. So until next time in my next video, I'll have a lovely day and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.